Henry Nouwen, I love this image that he offers. He said, one of the tragedies of our life is that we keep forgetting who we are. Most of us have an address, but we can't be found there. It's interesting. Again, it comes back to, can I be in my body with this thing that's happening right now? Or do I need to escape? And friends, I know that I am growing in my ability to be in the present moment. And wow, sometimes I want to escape. So, this Christmas, this is like I'm just bringing you my latest example of being unglued. I'm getting ready for a Christmas party. I have my daughter who's in grade 12 and my son home from college at home, and there's a whole bunch of things in my mind that need to be done. So we've got a house to clean, we've got food to organize, we've got like activities to sort out, because I want this to be a great party. And so I feel all the things that have to be done, and I can't do them alone. I don't want to do them alone. I grew up, my dad has Hutterite roots. We do things together. And so I want, the Hutterite in me is we are doing this in community. And somehow I just know that that's not gonna go over so well with my very exhausted 17-year-old and 19-year-old. And so I'm like, okay, how can I do this without imposing my priorities on them? So I'm like, I'll make a list. I'll make a list of all the things, and then I'll say, hey, are there a couple things on the list that you might feel like you can do? Because that would be really great. So I make my list, and I'm feeling very good about my tactic. And I show them the list, and of course there's the eye rolls and the really, Mom, and oh, we're so tired. And I'm like, I know, but I can't do this by myself. So they tick off, I can do this, and I can do this. They've got a couple of things, and I'm very grateful. And we finished supper, and I've still got 3 things to do on the list, including cleaning the bathroom, which, I feel like is an important thing. And so I'm like, okay, kids, can you please just clear the table, put the dishes away? I'm gonna go finish my stuff. And my daughter, in revolt, looks up and she goes, that was not on the list. I lost it inside of myself. I could just feel the heat, the activation. I am unglued. And I am like, somebody is going to make this happen. It was so big inside of me. What is that? Friends, what is that? That is what we want to try to access today. What are the things that unglue you inside? Where do you feel that heat in your body? What is the thing that amps you right up and you can't stay with yourself? That's the moment where I want to lose all control, and I will do anything I can to make my kingdom come. My will be done. This journey to the true self gets tricky because the thing is that life and how we're built naturally trigger our inner personal defense system. These things we've talked about, anger, shame, fear being the alarm system. There are a lot of other very important emotions. These are ones that tend to be core. And so we're taking a simple approach, just narrowing it down a little bit for us. So we are built to have this system, this defense system, come on track. It's also the system that keeps us at war. Because if I'm always defended, then everyone else kind of feels like they need to be defended. And as soon as everyone's defended, someone's going to bring out a sword. Because somebody feels the need, like I did, to force their own kingdom come. If we are going to become people who can live and just become the fruit of God's Spirit, we need to learn how to dismantle and desensitize that inner internal defense system. I love this quote from David Benner. He says, "From the perspective of the ego, surrender is the squeal of the pig on its way to the slaughter. But from another perspective, we can think of it as a birth scream, the first gasp of breath after a rebirth, as surrender ushers us into a new movement of life, a new stage on the journey." There is a death that has to happen, the squeal of the pig on the way to the slaughter, and that's how it feels like when I give up, "My kingdom come, my will be done." But that ushers in this possibility of a birth scream to life, where I can live in the rule and reign of God's kingdom. This is where we need to start. We need to be with Jesus' kingdom. And the Benedictine monks have an incredible way of showing us how we get there. They have this vow called the vow of stability that they take, but for us who don't live in a monastery, Benedictines invite us to consider that it is your everyday life that is going to be how God transforms you. It is the people and the place. They are your gift. The vow of stability would say that it's a willingness to attend to the present moment, to be right here, in the reality of this place and these people as God's gift to me and the setting where I live out my discipleship. This is the place, right here, the people you're with. The big shocker is that what bothers us in other people is actually a reflection of ourselves that has not yet been integrated or made peace with. This is a gift to realize that the people in your life who are driving you bonkers are actually the people in your life that God wants to use to liquefy you, to transform you. What if I could be here in this moment? What if I could trust that, maybe God's got this. Maybe he could actually make his power perfect in my weakness again. Maybe he could come and speak to my shame and tell me how beloved I am. Maybe he could actually be the security that I go to instead of me trying to figure out my disasters. The question is, whose kingdom are we securing? Can we beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning hooks and walk in the light of the Lord? Can we allow ourselves to live this transformational journey and live the beauty of Colossians 3:15, where the peace of Christ is the thing that rules in our hearts? As members of one body, we were called to peace, not war. Peace.